All right, let's go. Wake up. I forgot to turn the heater on in this room. I only turned it on like a half hour ago. On my scarf. Hey, Craig, fire everyone. Oh, man. When's the last time we had I think it's been before I left on vacation where we had a nice run of just easy going, right? Easy going. It seems like it's been every other night of just meh, you know, for weeks now. Hey, JC. Yeah, it's a nice balmy 39 degrees outside, but it is cold in this room. I forgot to turn the heater on. I was coming out here at 11:30 to get the laptop set up. I'm like, oh no, I forgot the heater. It's not too bad in here. Hi, Amanda. Bitcoin is the future. Amanda, I did get those QR codes for PayPal and for Cash App. So Nick is going to help me out this weekend because I need to do an overlay that will have each QR code at the top of the screen so it doesn't block Kyle and I. And I tried for an hour yesterday. I was going blind. I couldn't figure out how to do it. Even though I've done it before, I can't figure out what I did. So he's going to help me out this weekend with those, and then we'll have it on the stream. Greg says 34 and foggy. Yeah, that's about right. Steven says nothing like when you're down 2 goals to pull the goalie and put 5 on the coldest players. Yeah. I mean, we knew that the empty net was coming, right? Every game. I don't know if there's been any games where either we scored on the 6-on-5 or the other team got the empty net. I don't remember any instances where we had the empty net where nobody scored. Man, it says, what assets do you know besides Bitcoin that goes 6% in a day? Jeez. We'll get it together, man. I'm sure. I appreciate the sentiment there. We'll work it out. But in terms of Bitcoin, that's not something I know a whole lot about. I knew some people before. It's just crazy now to think, but I mean, 6% in a day, that's not a bad return. It's not a bad return. Right? YouTube's funny with that too. I don't think I have. Oh no, okay. It's StreamYard has done this weird thing recently where when you start up the stream, it mirrors the camera. It's set at default to mirror the camera, and sometimes I get confused, disoriented in terms of which camera angle I'm using. Ken says Panthers don't lose by 1, so why pull the goalie? Yeah. You don't stop doing it, man. Silva says, I'm proud of the Panthers for going to 2 Stanley Cup finals straight and winning the cup. I can't work myself over. Ugly mid-season loss to a desperate team for the playoffs. Yeah, that's pretty much, I understand. Hey, thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Amanda. Much appreciated. Thank you. I hope Bitcoin keeps going up. All right. Goat Slayer says, hey, Jaws, personal take, his team is going to get it together towards the playoffs, but not a good train being left out of playoffs by 1 to 3 points. Oh, you think we're going to miss the playoffs? That's a hot take. That's not a personal take. That's a hot take. Let's see. Where are we? Because everybody decided to win at the last minute last night, so now we're 3 points. Honestly, it's the Lightning, right? Because they have 3 games in hand, even though I don't have my glasses on. They have 3 games in hand, and they're 4 points behind of us. Fly Guy says, I would not be surprised if we don't get in. Frank says we're 11-10 at home. That's not good. Oh, Lil J, you think the fourth goal was definitely offsides? That's interesting. I didn't show or say anything about that on ESPN. I guess somebody was breaking it down on Twitter. Yeah, I'd be really annoyed paying a ton of cash to go see them and never be comfortable they'd win. Yeah, that's true. Trust me. All right. I paid $500 for the second game to watch us get shut out. Okay. Magda spent between what Magda spent the first game on their tickets and my tickets, and then what I spent in the second game. We collectively spent about $1,500 to watch 2 goals. Two goals. One of them being the Barkov goal in overtime against the Blues. So collectively, that's like $750 a goal. Little J, I don't know, man. Steven says today points projections are as follows: Toronto 103, Florida 98, Tampa 97. Sounds about right. Yeah. Thank you, Amanda. She says I can almost guarantee that having the QR codes on the live streams next to you and Kyle's face will get some good returns. Yeah, that Nick's going to set that up. I appreciate that idea. Hopefully they're big enough. I mean, I've got them any size, so we can shrink them down. The only thing I'm going to have to do is when I lift, I'm going to have to maneuver myself to the center of the screen, because otherwise my face will be a QR code. Although maybe that will help, right? If like it's just I'm cut off here while I'm lifting, and instead of my face, it's a QR code. that might actually work in my advantage. That might actually work in my favor. Lil J, I get it. But when you guys sell your tickets, do you guys make a profit, or is it just about basically getting your money back? Because obviously, if people start selling en masse, then prices are going to go down, right? Kenneth says if Reinhardt scored a goal for every 750 he earned, you're going to win it all. Yeah. Oh no, Steven, no. Yeah, exactly. iDog's got the right idea. At least Spencer looked good. How about we play Spencer in the next game? How about Spencer gets a start? The dude stole the game against the Devils and then came in and played relief and kept us in the game, obviously. How about we reward him, Maurice, with a start? Who do we got Saturday? Let's see. Oh, we got the Ducks. Yeah, the Ducks are no pushover, right? Let's get Spencer. Well, we got the back-to-back next week coming, so Spencer's going to get one of those games against the Ducks. How about we give Spencer tomorrow, and then we rest Bob until Tuesday, January the 21st, and then Spencer gets the game against the Kings the next night on the 22nd. How about that, Paul? I know you're watching, Maurice. Stop trying to pretend you're not. I told you, Sam Miskevich on the top line, not the second line. See? And who else? Come on, Maurice. Huh? I got good ideas. Sam Miskevich did have a nice assist last night. The Devils having a tough go. Well, hey, look, Kenneth, you guys, look, the Devils have a good team, but it's not like they've proven anything yet, right? There's a big, huge difference. Just ask Washington Capitals fans. There is a big difference between a team that looks like world beaters and dominates the regular season and a team that can win a cup. It's a big, big disparity between those two. And until a team has gone through the fire in the playoffs, they haven't proven anything. So the Devils are a nice team. They've got speed. Sheldon Keefe. I guess we'll find out in New Jersey if he was the problem in Toronto, right? Steven says everyone in the Atlantic that played last night at least got a point except for the one team. Yeah. Yeah. Right, Craig. Yeah, and steal them. Right, right. iDog says Maurice is going to hear Jaws asking for Mackey to be on the top line and respond by putting him on the checkers top line. Son of a bitch. That sounds exact. That's not even funny. It's funny because of how accurate it is. That is exactly what he would do. That is exactly what he would do. Leafs are 3-0 versus Keith this year. That's interesting. Yeah, Sordiv up and Mackey down, right? No. Well, Mackey's on. Samaskevich is on that entry. He's still on an entry level contract, so he's waivers exempt, right? Not that we would be sending him down. I assume he's waivers exempt. Oh boy. Well, look. We almost got the game I wanted last night. I asked for a 1-1 tie after the first period, and then that, the stupid stick penalties. Two guys with the stupid hooking where the other guy just closes his arm on the stick. I mean, they're penalties. It's a penalty. Don't get me wrong. But the refs don't have to call that, right? We've seen it plenty of times where the ref recognizes that it wasn't really a hook until the opposing player locked his arm around the dude's stick. Sourdiff is a -7 this year. What about that guy? Well, it's hard to it's hard to judge the guys that are in the AHL because the company, so many people playing with different people that aren't, they're putting them in a lot of times they put them into situations to see what will happen. Hey, Frank. Thank you, Frank. Thank you. Thank you, Frank. He says 9 of our 12 next games are against playoff teams or teams that are hunting for a playoff spot. This could get ugly real fast. I'm telling you, Frank, they need to put Spencer in for more of these games. Let's get Spencer out there, okay? And let's lessen this ice time for some of these guys, right? Let's shake it up. I know I said it at the end of the recap last night, kind of as a joke, but I don't think I'm joking anymore. Especially with Bennett. The dude needs a couple nights off just to recharge the batteries. Thank you again, Frank. Fly Guy says the officiating has to be the worst I've ever seen this year. It's been weird. Greg says Gus is on the ice too much. Oh, I know that. You can see it. And look, he has the disadvantage of playing with either Kulikov or Ekblad. Now, we love Kulikov, but he's not really all that fast of a skater. And anytime there's any kind of a problem, whether it's Ekblad or Kulikov, it's Forsling that has to speed onto the screen and just constantly expend a ton of energy. And, as much as I have said Mikkola needs a pairing, honestly, I'm starting to feel more like we need a pairing for Forsling. We need a younger, quicker pairing for Forsling so that he doesn't have to do all of the heavy lifting on that top line. Now, it's never going to happen. Not this year. They're not going to move. Maurice is not going to move Ekblad down or any of that crap. But that's part of the issue for sure. Craig says trial by fire, move Bornfoot or Balinskis. I don't disagree with that at all. Bornfoot didn't have a great game last night. I think I would move Balinskis up. I would have confidence in Forsling Balinskis at this point for sure. Manny says, Jaws, let's be honest with ourselves. This team is exhausted. Vegas did that last year. Yeah, I mean, it kind of looks that way, right? You know, it's hard to watch. It really is hard to watch. And I think some of it is a combination of the exhaustion, but also what Maurice's style is, right? Like, even when we are having our full complement of energy, Maurice wants 2-1 games. You heard it on the interview last night. He says, we want as many 1-1, 2-1 games as we possibly can because that sharpens us mentally for the playoffs. We can't argue with him anymore because he won the cup, right? But when you take a guy that already doesn't care if there's only 2 goals that we score and you combine it with the team that's just wiped out, you can tell is ugly hockey for the most part. Frank says, I think Bob is getting bought out after this season. I can't see us keeping Knight as a backup anymore. He is our goalie of the future. He's wow. It just I'm still here. All right, I think I'll come back. Boy, the internet just completely crapped out on me. Let me know in the bottom of the comments. Yeah, it looks like it's coming back now. Okay. What the hell was I saying? I was talking about Frank was talking about Bob. Yeah, I think that if Bob had more than one more year, I think you might see that possibly. But being that he's only got the one more season, I don't think they'll do that. Maybe they'll move to more of a 50-50 split by next season. But I think because Bob only has the one more year, I really don't think they're going to do that. Financially, it just wouldn't open up all that much. It's open up some, but Bobrovsky is still an elite goaltender. He's just at the same position as everybody else. He's just worn out. Fly Guy says, nobody wants to see Forsing with a faster skater like Boquist. What do you want to see how good Boquist could be with a good defensive partner instead of constantly being stuck with the worst guy on the ice? I think Boquist has got to do a little bit more to earn that. You know what I mean? I think he's got to do a little bit more to earn that. I understand what you're saying, but Balinskis is getting paired with, with Bornfoot, who's basically been an AHL guy, and Balinskis has played well. Now Boquist played a little bit better the last few times he was on the ice, but certainly before you would put him with Forsling, you'd have to see how he would do on the second pair with Mikkola. So, Amanda, you agree about Bob being done? No way we keep him? Interesting. All right. Colin, I certainly think Knight should start the next one. Fly Guy says nobody will give him the shot. He's got to be more consistent when he's on the ice, man. I get what you're saying. He's got some talent, and I certainly understand when you have a player that you believe in and you feel like he's not getting a shot. I can 100% over and tip it. I can certainly empathize with that, which is why I constantly scream about Sam Miskevich. But here's the thing. Boquist, especially when he was first in the lineup, he was overskating himself out of position too often. That's not a result of the guy he's paired with. That's because he's wanting to make such an impression and he's trying to do too much. Boquist, in that regard, becomes his own worst enemy. He needs to settle down a bit. And I guarantee you I would almost guarantee you that that would be the phrasing that Maurice would use to describe Boquist, is that he needs to settle down a little bit and just play with it himself instead of trying to use the fact that he does have that speed to do things we don't really need him to do in terms of the defense. All right, I'm scrolling down to the bottom here. All right, Fly. See, there we go. Aaron says, I don't get the obsession with ABO. He looks bad out there. I think what I just said, though, he's got a skill set. He does have a skill set, but it's up to him to work within what he does well and to not try to do too much. Mike Matheson used to do the same thing. Mike Matheson was an excellent skater, and he had a really good skill set. But when he was with us, he tried to do too much, and he would skate himself right out of position. Eventually, he settled down to at least be a decent defenseman, right? Maybe he didn't turn into what we had kind of hoped he would be. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you. If we had kept Lomberg, Lorentz, OEL, and Stenlund, we would easily win 3 in 5 years. All those players here's the thing, Amanda, all those players added up, that's Spencer Knight. All those players added up, that's Spencer Knight or Ekblad. So there were rumors last summer that Bill was trying to shop those guys, but we had a week, right? Did we even have a week between like the parade and all of that and free agency? I don't even know if we had a week between the parade and free agency. Somebody look that up and do that math. We didn't have time to like really investigate. Hey, would somebody take Spencer? Would somebody take Ekblad? It was all too much too soon. Like I says, I'm just saying he has the speed and enough skill to help Forsling out. It's possible. It's possible. And I know somebody had been talking about maybe Boquist would be the guy in if Ekblad walked next year. But I kind of Belinskas has really taken a step, even though he's kind of not older, but I think he's developed as much as he's going to develop. But then again, you never know. Hey, thank you, Dana. Thank you, Dana. Much appreciated. Canes activated Anderson off of IR. What is he, Praga? You're saying he's too small. I've heard that before. I remember saying it myself. I mean, he's Swedish. He's 24. Let's see. He's 5'11". He's 5'11", 181. That's tough. That's a tough weight for a top pairing defenseman. That's tough. I mean, give me 195, right? Yeah, he was 8th overall. Boy, who took him 8th overall? That's. But then again, I think Tobias Bornfoot is the same size. Let me see. Bornfoot's 23. He's 6 foot. They don't have a weight listed for him, though. Let me look and see if we got something here. Yeah, it was Chicago, Aaron. Yeah. Do we have a weight? Yeah, see now, Bornfoot's 6 foot 200. He's a lefty, though, so that's not going to work perfectly with Forsling. He was a first-round pick too, right? He was 22nd, taken by the Kings. But 6 foot 200 is a lot different than 5'11", a buck 83. As a pairing next to Mikkola, but he's got to settle into his game. He shoots right, Fly Guy. Craig, you're saying Forsling is 5'11", 180? Are you kidding me? Really? I thought he was bigger. How does he stay so well, Google says he's 6 foot 181, but six of one, half dozen of another, right? All right. Well, I don't know what to tell you then, right? God, I mean, look, the difference between how they appear, right? I mean, when you see them in their uniform on the ice, the difference in how they appear. Gustav Forsling looks like he's a much bigger dude than that. But who knows when when they update the weights or anything like that? You know what I mean? Who knows how much of that is really accurate? Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Aaron. Fly guy, where did Boquist work before he came here? Where I mean, they had him on. Didn't they have him play with Kulikov? Who's the bad defenseman that's on the Panthers that they had Boquist with? You see what I'm saying? I like that idea, Ken. It says Ollie Jokinen is looking to get into coaching. Maybe he would put Sam Miskevich on the top line. Did you see that pass from Sam Miskevich to Rodriguez last night? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Put that kid with Barkov and Reinhart, and I guarantee they will eat off of him. I freaking guarantee it. I can't say that with enough emphasis. He'd become the Huberto of assists. I just feel it. Yeah, that pass was on a rope. Yeah, Jameson. Yeah. Gus is ripped to the bone. Yeah, I mean, he just, when I was at the game, you see him on TV, but then you see him, we went down there for warm-ups, and you just like, that dude don't look like 180 pounds to me. I'm 180 pounds, people. Okay? I'm 5'6", 180. And then, I mean, I'm in shape, but he don't look like 100. He looked like 200 pounds of solid rock muscle to me, but what do I know? Aaron says, Pomo, too stubborn. He also has very bad across. He also had a very bad cross-ice pass that was turned over in the O-zone. No shot. Maurice forgets that. No, I know. Yeah. Everybody's been doing that, though. Everybody's been doing that. We all of a sudden in the last few weeks, we've stopped with the dump and the chase, and we're trying to do all these cross-ice passes. I don't mind it so much in the offensive zone, but we're doing it like entry and defensive zone. Aaron says watching too many Huberto highlights. Fly guy, yeah, Reinhart, Barkov, yeah, they're all doing it. I've been screaming it. I was screaming it at the game I was at. Who was I yelling at? I think it was Reinhart at the Tampa game. I started screaming something because I was just like, "What? Where are you passing the puck to?" Chucky's on the other side of the ice, but there's two lightning in between you and him. Where do you think the puck's gonna go? Greg says a bunch of teams are doing it. Must be the new trend. That's interesting. It makes for bad hockey. Like if you're going to have your cross-ice passes, you've got to have a quick zone entry, and they've got to be cross-ice and forward. But what we're trying to do is we're stationary, and we think that these two defensemen in between, they're just not going to see the puck. They're just, don't tell them. We're going to, it's like, what are we doing? Metal, what do you think is attributing to our poor performances at home? The only thing that there's definitely a mentality, right? Like if you listen to what Paul Maurice said when they interviewed him during the New Jersey game, he said it as a joke, but it was very telling. They asked him about the slow start. And he says, I don't think we started slow. We're not selling tickets in here. And so what that tells me is he's telling on himself a little bit that they have a different attitude about how they approach, especially entertainment side of the game when they're on the road versus at home. And that maybe these guys are just, there definitely is something there where they're playing with a different mentality on the road versus at home. And it's showing, especially late in games. But it's bad because, like in years past, if we got behind in a home game, you could see, there was this energetic, it was between the fans and the team. There was this cohesion where the fans would try to get them going, and the team and Lombard would come out and do some shit, right? Isn't that let's just call it what it is. How many times was something going wrong at home and Lombard would go out and do some shit and take off his helmet and flow with his hair on his way to the penalty box and get everything vibing again, and then we come back and win. I think Fly Guy said, yeah. Fly Guy said it. Yep. How many times do we see Lombard just come out there and just change the energy? Yep. That's part of it. And you know what I mean? I mean, when you win a Stanley Cup, you're a Stanley Cup team. Everybody's got their spot. And no, we love Greer, right? He does well. It's just not the same. John says, I wish they would separate Lundell from Luostarinen on the third line. They did. John, for like I don't know, 3 games, 4 games, for the last 3 or 4 games, Luostarinen has been on the second line with Bennett, and has it been Rodriguez? They moved Luostarinen up to the second line with Bennett for the last he got a goal. Luostarinen got a goal in like the first 5 minutes that they were together. The first game they put them together, and he hasn't moved them back down since. Because Verhaeghe's been with Lundell, and then they've been moving Rodriguez just all over the place. But Praga, Chucky's been, is that what you're saying you would want? Bennett, Chucky? Because Chucky has been on the top line with Barkov. Yeah, no problem, John. Aaron, yeah, the suggestions in the recap last night, I'm in. I mean, what are we going to do? Only score a goal or 2? Right? We got I mean, Nosek is supposed to be, he's been like career way over 50. He's in the face-off circle. And it ain't happening for him right now. Oh, I see what you're saying, Proggy. Yeah, when Luostarinen scored, he was with Bennett and Chucky. Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. Right. Yeah, and then, but Luostarinen had opportunities. I mean, he's having opportunities. It's like watching the Nick Cousins thing again. I don't understand why they won't. If you want to play around with it, put Bohlquist on the second line. At least Bohlquist has shown he can put the puck in the back of the net. I love Luostarinen, but he has shown he doesn't have a scoring touch. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Frank. Says we have a better record on the road than at home. They got to get their shit together at home ice for F's sakes. We're the Stanley Cup champs. I know, man. And the tickets are expensive, man. You know, like I said, $750 a goal for all of us. for both games, we spent $750 a goal. Oh, wow, man. Yeah, he's only like 48 now, Fly. Right. That's a big difference. Now, some people had said that that's because he had that injury, which is what he was coming back from, and that hurt his face-off percentages. So, that might be a place to look. John says Lundell should be on the second line because I can see him being like a better passer to make others better as well as himself. Yeah, the way Bennett is playing right now, I agree. In the past, I would have said, I don't know. But the way Bennett is playing right now, I mean, no goals in, was it 19 games? 19 games. And what I feel bad for him because this is a contract season. I mean, talk about going into the worst slump in his career, maybe, probably, and at a bad time. I mean, this is his contract year, right in the middle of contract negotiations, no goals in 19 games. I mean, he's got to be feeling it. And I wonder if the contract negotiations are playing a role there, right? I wonder if the team is like, we can give you this, and Bennett is saying, I want this, and the team said, go prove that you're worth that, and then he doesn't score a goal for 19 games. That's hard. That's hard, man, because he gave us everything he had, and we got a cup for it. But why is he trying to split defenders? Why does he think he's Connor Bedard? Like every game now, and he's trying to go through 2 or 3 guys in the middle of the ice. No, they said it last night, Braga. It's I believe it's Bennett hasn't scored in 19. Give me a second, John. I'll look that up. I'll answer that in a second here. I believe it's 19. Let me see. He's got 13 goals. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. He hasn't scored a goal in 19 games. His last goal was December 3rd at Pittsburgh. That's the last time Sam Bennett scored a goal. And in that period of time, he's only had 1, 2, 3, 4 assists. He's got 4 points in the last 19 games. Holy shit. He's got 4 points in 19 games. Sam Bennett, Rosado. God. Holy crap. That hurts to say that. That hurts to say that, man. Amanda says, Jaws Bennett looks bad. I think he knows he's not going to get paid. Amanda, you always hit on a lot of good points. What if they couldn't come to a contract agreement? And what if Zito said, well, if we can't come to an agreement, I might have to consider moving you. And that has affected Bennett's play. I mean, there was that we had heard some news that they were getting close, and then all of a sudden he went into this massive slump. 4 points in 19 games. Yeah. So, Fly, you said you heard they were very far apart. Man, I hate to see that. Right? I mean, I even got a Bennett puppet. Meadow says every guy in the top 6 is not producing. No, and that's true, except for Reinhart, right? Yeah, IDK says they signed Swaggy long-term and he's been virtually MIA. I am convinced Swaggy went blind in one eye. It explains everything. Every shot is wider, it hits the post. He went blind in one eye. I have no evidence to back that up. Rosado says we could see Sam not be on the team by April. I think it's time to move Lundell up for now, because if Bennett's issue is exhaustion, like I said last night, put him on the 4th line. Let him have some rest. Although I guess putting him on the 4th line would ruin any trade value. It's tough. And look, like you guys are saying, I mean, Barkov, I think they said Barkov's had 1 goal in 10 or 11 games. And we know Verhaeghe, right? Chucky, last time Kachuk had a good 2 weeks, I still had dogs. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Amanda. Says it's coming to the point that Bennett knows another team will overpay for him. You think Bennett is salty for Swaggy's check? That's an interesting POV. That, yeah. Right? Like if Swaggy got what he got, it was 8.7, right? Was it 8.7 or 7.8? I think it was 8.7. But Swaggy got that, and then we turned to Bennett and we're like, okay, we're going to give you $2 million less, right? You think he wants 7? I mean, last year's Sam Bennett, the year before Sam's Bennett, somebody will give him 7 though. Somebody will give him 7. But now let's step back another. Let's step back another layer. Let's step back another layer. I'm about to make you all throw up in your face. You're all gonna throw up. You're all gonna throw up. If we're nickel and diming Sam Bennett, the only reason to nickel and dime Sam Bennett is because we're planning on paying Ekblad. The only reason Bill Zito would have to nickel and dime Sam Bennett would be because he's planning on paying Ekblad. I mean, if you know you're letting Ekblad walk, why not give Bennett the extra $500,000 or whatever? You know what I mean? I mean, it's what's that, Occam's razor, right? I mean, why would we dick around with a little bit here or there with Bennett if we were letting Ekblad walk? Fly Guys, yeah, and the Boquists, that's true. Now, Samiskevich, who's Fly Guys, we got to pay Mackey too. I think he's got one more year. I think Mackey's got one more year. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Frank. Man, this says it's getting that bad. Frank says, let's go, Lightning. Shai says, look, I know we hate Ekblad, but the guy is giving a lot to the organization. He's a warrior out there. I don't disagree, Rosato. I have never doubted or even complained, I think, about Ekblad's effort. So you're saying, let me see. I thought he had another year. No, he's right. Sam Miskevich is on an expiring deal. Sam Miskevich is on the 3rd year of his contract. It expires at the end of the 24-25 season. Yeah. Shit. Well, he's making 9.25 now. I wonder, they're going to have to give him more than Geez, I didn't realize that. I thought Mackey had one more year. Fly Guys, that's why I made a big deal about Pornfoot, because it affects the cap space. Right. Yeah, Boquist. Yeah. But that's tough. I mean, it means he signed. Says Mackey Samiskevich is signed to a 3-year deal, $2.775 contract with a cap hit of 9.25 per season. His contract was signed on May 8th, 2023, and expires at the end of the 24-25 season. So it went 23-24. Wait a minute. If his contract was signed May 8th, 2023, that would be the 23-24, the 24-25, and the 25. It doesn't make any sense. Hold on a second. Hold on. This doesn't make any sense. If he signed it in May of 23, that's after that season. Oh, Kenneth says that he signed to play in the playoffs as a 1 year. Yeah, that's that. I think that might. You're right. We were still playing, right? Shit. So we blew that whole year. Okay. Yeah. Shit. Right. Oh, wow. Wow. Whose dumb idea was that? Whose dumb idea was that, Bill? Where's the benefit of that? I guess for Sam Miskevich, the benefit is he gets a new deal sooner, right? Shit. Well, I dog fires, No, that makes sense for Sam Miskevich because that he doesn't care about killing that year because it gets him closer to a renewal. Yeah. Give Ekblad 2 years at $4 million. I don't know, man. I don't know what Ekblad. I don't know what his value is going to be out there. You know what I mean? Like I said, I read things online that, I think somebody might be willing to pay him. Ekblad on bottom pair. You did, Amanda? I must have missed it. I was looking at my phone. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you. I appreciate. Thank you for letting me know because I got the chat so blown up. I only see a couple things at once. Thank you. So, what's my confidence in Spencer Knight versus Bob? I would say a 7, but I'm going to bump it up to an 8 because we've already seen Spencer Knight in the playoffs play very well. That gives me a little bit more confidence than I would naturally have because he came into that series and again, in Tampa, and he's what got us to 6 games. And had we been able to score in game 6, we might have gone to 7. So I'll give him an 8. Bob, obviously, you have to have a 9 or a 10 confidence because he's already proven he can do it. But do I think Spencer's ready to go win the cup right now? It might be a bit much, but I don't think there's no play. The playoffs aren't going to scare him. You know what I mean? Fly Guy, yeah, that was before that, yeah. Kenneth says Sabres are going to give Ekblad 7+. Deuces. What if we lose them both? Rosado, yeah, no, we've talked about that where Spencer and Bob are up at the same time. No, they don't what, Frank? No, they don't what? Oh, for Buffalo? Oh, Frank says Detroit might pay Ekblad. Yeah. Well, it wasn't that long ago where this conversation that we're having right now would have been would have been if we feel that Seth Griffith and Jakob Kindle should be in the lineup. Those were real arguments we had, not here on the live stream, but on Twitter. There were real whole ass arguments for weeks about Seth Griffith and Jakob Kindle. It wasn't that long ago. I had hair then, but it still wasn't that long ago. So how fast it comes and goes, right? How fast it comes and goes. I wonder how much they're going to pay Sam Iskevich. Lil J says 16, 17. Yeah. That's the first year of the channel, Lil J. There was some rough moments. There were some rough moments. Oh, you like to see Ekblad in Tampa? We'd like to see Ekblad in Tampa too. That's a joke. I don't know. Look, we are never going to really understand what Ekblad meant to the team until or unless he's gone. Unless we win another cup. I suppose if we win 2 cups with him on the top pair, I guess we'll have to say he's good, right? Yeah, Ekblad for Kucherov. I'm in. Can you imagine if the real Sam Bennett? Can you imagine the real Sam Bennett with Chucky and Kucherov as one line? Huh? As long as we're talking stupid. Bugs. Come on. Huh? Am I going to 2 today? Not today, Amanda. Not today. I'm having my jaws letting me know about the last 2 days. Kucherov is a sore winner and a drunk. I'll go a little bit past 1, but I can't go to 2 today. Chopper says best line. Yeah, the old Sam Bennett, right? Kenneth says Ovi scores on 179th different goalie to break Yager's record. Jeez. Is that a real stat, Kenneth? Is that a real stat? Metal. Now look, we'll be okay. We went to 2 cup finals in a row, right? And in a sense, the blessing there is that had we beaten Vegas the first time, last year would have been the cup hangover. So all of the fun and excitement we had last year was courtesy of what they did in the first year. Kennedy says, so that is a real stat, 179 goalies. Good God. What is he, like 20 goals away now? He's going to come real close to doing it, right? Bucks Rays, ask Vasilevsky. I think they've got a team that could do it. But Vasilevsky's going to have to be prime Vasilevsky because there's stiff competition in the East this year. But there's nothing that I look at with Tampa that makes me think, nah. I think they've retooled enough. You know, whoever comes out of the Atlantic, that's going to be the hardest thing, is whoever comes out of the Atlantic is going to be beat to shit. Let's just be honest. Okay? You imagine Florida, Tampa, and then whoever, wins out of that. Maybe you got to play Toronto. Maybe you got to play Ottawa, Boston. Although I know most people think Boston's not going to make it. If Boston doesn't make it, I think it's because Ottawa does. You think Vasi is a bit washed? I mean, he had that back surgery. Remember, I said this when it happened, right? He was closing in on 30. He's played a lot of hockey. He had that back surgery. And that's usually, I would suspect that Vasilevsky will have a resurgence, maybe not to completely prime Vasilevsky, but I mean, we look at the old Bobrovsky footage from when he was with Columbus and versus now when he's winning the cup. He was faster in Columbus. That's not a knock on how he played, but he certainly could rely on his reflexes and speed a lot more back when he was younger. And he had the rough years with us, and he kept working at it and working at it. And you see where he got to. And I kind of feel like Vasilevsky will return to enough of a form that Tampa should remain a cup contender for a while. Yeah, Metal says, still one of the better goalies, just not the best goalie in the world anymore. Right. I mean, when Tampa beat us and swept us, Game 4 was a 50-save shutout, right? People forget that a lot of Tampa's game was just let them shoot because nothing's going to get past Vasilevsky. If we don't block the shot, Vasilevsky's going to save it. They would allow a lot of time of possession because they knew nothing was getting past Vasilevsky. Excuse me. Chopper says, if the Cats changed their style of play just for the regular season, went back to the Maurice forechecking style 10 games before the season ends, do I think they can pull out of this hole? Yes, but I don't know for how long. If we go back to that style, yes, we're going to start having the same type of opportunities and the same type of scoring, and things will work. For how long is the question. Because if they start that 10 games before the end of the season, well, that's 2 weeks. And then the playoffs are 2 weeks of April, so that's a month, May, and 3/4 of June. So do they have 3 months of that in them? That's the question. I think the play will improve when they start doing it. But, you know, how much benefit are they going to be getting from the style of play that they've been playing now? Which, like I said in the recap last night, it's like for us, we as fans, it's frustrating to watch, right? But I mean, the Panthers this morning, they wake up, they look at the standings like, yeah, we're 3 points out of first place. How desperate is the team? They made it to 2 cups in a row. They are the champs. They wake up in the middle of January and they're 3 points out of first place. How are you going to, as a coach, go to that team and those players and say, you all need to do better? You see what I mean? Maurice has he has nothing to work with right now. Now, if we fell to 4th place, then maybe Maurice could be like, hey, assholes, look, we're like 3 points out. We could be out of a playoff spot. But right now, you know, even a game like last night, we dominated 5-on-5. And then, I mean, when was the last time we allowed 3 power play goals? That was a very, that doesn't happen. You know what I mean? It's not like a consistent problem where we're just allowing, you know, and if the one went off Kulikov and the one went off Forsling, which I was mad at Bob in the moment because they looked like really bad goals. But then if they, you know, if he was in position and then the puck just moved out a little bit at the last second, that's hard. Now the 4th goal was ass, right? And then that's why you saw Spencer Knight come in. 137 penalties. Yeah, we're relying on the division being so bad. It's true. It's true. But look, Meadow, what we did in the Stanley Cup final is what we did in the Stanley Cup final, right? It's 3-0. Did we go out there and boom, sweet bitches? No. Did we go out there and be like, all right, you got game 4, no problem, and put that shit to bed? Game 5? No. Game 6, they played like they didn't even want, they wanted Game 7. They wanted their backs up against the wall to be forced to do what they did in Game 7 and kill us all sitting there holding a freaking 1-goal lead for 30 minutes in Game 7. The makeup of that team, and it starts with Maurice, is they want that. They want that backs up against the wall, all do or die mentality. It's on purpose. I mean, look at how the first run started. We were 10, 12 points out. And then Chucky's dad called him soft. Maurice screamed at him in front of everybody in Toronto. And they woke their asses up. Thank you, John. Thank you, John. Says, I wish I could hear Maurice say, hey, Stanley Cup assholes. Right? Lil J says, I'm telling you, executions are issue. Many teams score more goals of less effort than us. It's true. But we are not creating chances the way that we would normally create them with the forecheck and all of that relentlessness. We do it every once in a while, right? Yeah, Metal says Maurice wants every game to be 2-1, but we don't have the personnel or the bodies anymore to do it. Yeah, it's not that the division is really bad. It's everybody's busy beating the shit out of each other. There's really no bad teams in the division, so there's no easy victories, right? Amanda says, I think Bennett is the reason why we are not winning. He looks lost and unhappy. I mean, there's something going on there, man. There's no doubt. There's got to be something going on with the contract. I mean, he could just be sad, right? Like you're saying. I mean, I know how it sounds, but if they're that far apart and he is having to wrestle with the idea of he knows he's going to leave, that could be affecting. It could be there's another way. If the team is saying 6 and Bennett wants 8 and Bennett knows he can go get 8 elsewhere and he already knows he's leaving, why is he going to risk his body and risk injury for the contract? You see what I'm saying? Why would he, if Bennett already knows he's going elsewhere and trying to get paid, why would he risk some kind of major injury that would diminish his paycheck elsewhere? Oh, you're talking about Adam on ESPN saying that Bennett wants to go to Toronto. It's possible. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And Bitcoin must be kicking ass today. It's coming to the point to separate Barkov and Reinhart. No, put Mackey with him. I'm telling you, I promise. If you guys could if somebody could just kidnap Maurice and put him in a room and just play a video of me saying, we will release you when you put Sam Miskevich with Barkov and Reinhart. I promise it would work. It would be like Huberto with Barkov and Reinhart. I can see it. I'm telling you. I'm not right all the time. I guarantee you that shit would work. Waterboard him. IDK says his current level of play should already be diminishing his value. Damn, Amanda. That's good. I'll put my $100 in it. I won the $100 I won at the casino a couple weeks ago with my brother's money. He gave me $100 for Christmas. He told me to go do something fun with it. He said, if you pay a bill with that money, I'll never give you money again. So I went to the casino and I turned into 200. And I had the money in my drawer because I don't want to do anything with it. So what do I get for $200, Amanda? Can I get like 1/10 of one Bitcoin? Right? I mean, shit, I'll earn 5% of $100 every day. What's that? $5 a day. It's $30 a week. It's a tank of gas, half a tank of gas. It'll be 2.5 times by summer. I'll have to look. Email me the information, Amanda. You said you're going to email me about the other stuff, but email me about that. Andrew Sick from Calgary says they will trade Huberdeau back for Adam Boquist. Oh my God. Could you imagine that? Well, you know, I would want that to happen only because I want them to film Huberdeau and Zito meeting up again for the first time. That's the only reason I would want that to happen. I want to see that. What's that song? Reunited and It Feels So Good. I want to see that. Right? Who'd pay the difference? Oh, that's right. Man says, no, I'm saying if you put the $100, it'll be 2.5 times, so $250 by summer. But can you, the point is that, I mean, I'd be willing to do that. But my point is that for the $100, I mean, you're not going to get one Bitcoin, right? Because it's like worth thousands of dollars. So what do they give you? Like 1/8 of one Bitcoin? How does that work? Chopper says he's a bum. Yeah, who would pay the difference? Yeah, I don't think Calgary is going to trade him, right? We ain't taking on that salary. We ain't taking on that salary. No, you know what would be evil? What would be evil? I see. So Bitcoin is worth 104K now? Jesus Christ. Oh my God. So you get a percentage of it. All right, that I got to look at. That's real money for me. What the hell? I think my brother Gene was doing something like that. I got to have a talk with him too. Because he got some money when he got some life insurance money when his mom passed. So I think that's what he did. You get a little bit, yeah, like that's like 1/100,000th of a Bitcoin. Yeah, exactly. Like there's right. I see, but there's only 21 million Bitcoin. I see. Interesting. Worthwhile. All right. I'll take my I walked into a casino because I had a couple of dollars. I walked into the casino with like 165 and I spent, it was $18 for a piece of caramel pie and an iced coffee. Holy shit. I walked out with 278. Gotcha, true. Gotcha. Fly guy, and people have lost thousands too. I guess if you pull out at the wrong time, right? High demand, low supply, right? But like, Onyx coin, geez, this has turned into this is interesting. Not a fluffy coin. That's funny. Oh, which by the way, I might have a sponsor coming for the channel. I have a meeting with somebody that reached out to me next week. Very, very interesting. I can't give it away just yet, but it's a very interesting sponsorship. I think it might work. Tree bought it when it was at 43,000. That's crazy. Craig says it's like watching the Big O show with the Bitcoin talk. Right. So, but here's the question. Like, I'm not saying this is what I would do, but like it's eventually you could trade it in for like real money, or what are you doing? You're trading it for goods and services that take Bitcoin. Is that how it works? Somebody's got to explain this to me, man. Huh? Like literally, I'm like $30 a day away from being completely financially independent and not having to put shit on the credit cards. And I got the doggy thing coming. We're getting a Facebook group together and a logo and putting all of that together. I got to finish putting everything together inside of the house. Some places you can use your Bitcoin as cash. Right. Yeah, the Big O show. I see. You can transfer it, right? That's crazy. So, like, you guys have been keeping this all a secret. Like, the whole chat is like into Bitcoin. And you notice, I just want all you guys to notice, it took the girl to help me out. I just want all of you men in the chat to understand that the first one to bring it up to me to try to help me out was Amanda. Just want that noticed. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Amanda. She says Bitcoin has nothing but gone up since 2009, 16 years of straight growth. The richest people in the institutions and oil are all invest in it. Trump's whole cabinet are behind it. What does that tell you? Got you. Yeah, true. No, that I have a couple of dollars I can do that with. Like I said, Brother Gene gave me 100. I turned it into 200, and it's just kind of been sitting there because whenever I win money, I just leave it there because I'm afraid to do something the next time with it because I'm afraid to lose what I already won, which is a good strategy to have at the casino, right? I always would go into the casino, win $75, $100, gone, and just run. So, all right, I know where now I know what to do with my $200. I still want you guys to understand it. Why is it the girl that helps me out? Why nobody else tells me about this stuff until now? Over here crying broke all summer, crying over the dogs, crying over the girlfriend, and the only one that gives me the scoop is Amanda. And then you guys are all like, "Oh yeah, we did it too." It's like, come on, guys, huh? Right? It's true, though. El Salvador is out of debt thanks to Bitcoin. Nick, yeah, I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that. You know, I'm in the past. You know what I mean? Thank you, Amanda. Thank you. Says with inflation, the only thing valuable is Bitcoin. Not the inflation. The freaking eggs. 18 eggs are $7.29 at the grocery store now. Now I can get fresh eggs from the farm down the streets, and I do sometimes, and it's a lot cheaper. But it's $7.30 for 18 eggs at the grocery store. That's just beyond abomination. Beyond abomination. The rotisserie chickens haven't gone up that much, though. Gator Smith says, I have land, buy chickens. Yeah, I could do. I mean, I hadn't done anything like that because I was always taking care of the dogs. I'm thinking the lady down the street, she's got goats. She got goats for goat milk, goat cheese. But yeah, the chickens, I could do that if I wanted to. I don't eat a lot of eggs. Hey John, Kyle's downstairs doing eBay work. At least that's what he's supposed to be doing. He's been working good. It took us both a while to get back into the flow of things from the vacation. You know what I mean? That was, we had, we hadn't had a vacation, and since I hadn't had one since 1996. So it took a little bit of time. Drew says, I would definitely have a little farm if I lived where you do. Yeah, I've done it before, not at none of this property. You guys would be surprised how much effort that is. If you don't have the proper tools, and what I mean by proper tools is, to put in a big garden, to have to have your tractor and tiller and all of that. Man, this is, if anybody has any money in savings, but it's a scam. The banks use your money to trade for assets like Bitcoin. It just puts your savings in half into Bitcoin. You get better than 4 to 7% a year. Yeah. They had chickens running through the neighborhoods in Coral Gables. I believe it. I believe it, man. All right. I'm going to take off. I got to get my packing and shipping done. I got to go to the grocery store. So that's always an experience. Thank you again for all the super chats. Thank you for all of the information and advice. It is well received. I know a lot about the things I know about, but I know jack shit about the things that I don't know about. So there's a big gap there sometimes. So, all right. What's today? Today's Friday. So I won't be live at noon tomorrow. I'm going to be doing some work on the house. I want to get downstairs ready for the dogs when I get them coming in. Because, I got the Ethernet cords all over the place. I got to fix all that up before I can start having dogs and everything like that here. And then hopefully, once the snow's off the ground, right? I found another app, by the way. There's another app apparently that you can put yourself on there to rent your yard out. And like people come and they use your fenced in yard like it's a dog park. And then they clean up their own poop. And then it's crazy. There's a lot of different ways to do this. So it should be interesting to see how it all works out. All right, everybody. Yeah, we can pay Bennett the difference in Bitcoin. All right. Thank you all. Thank you all again. And yep, we'll see you tomorrow right before the game time.